You know what I've realized after building businesses for over 15 years? The entrepreneurs who win aren't always the ones that are working the hardest. They're the ones with the best systems. And right now, the biggest system upgrade any business can make is, of course, AI. But here's the thing. Every day your business is late to AI, you fall 2 days behind. The competition is only moving faster. But fortunately, there's NetSuite next. Here's the thing. You probably already know about NetSuite. It's the AI-powered business management suite trusted by over 43,000 customers that securely connects all of your data, your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM into one single source of truth. NetSuite Next takes that foundation and makes the next huge leap in how businesses actually run. AI is now built into everything you do. It automatically surfaces custom insights throughout your day, so you're never flying blind. AI agents work right alongside you to solve problems and handle routine work. And anytime you have a question about anything, you just ask, like having a conversation with the smartest colleague in the room. NetSuite is customized for a wide range of industries, so it supports the way your specific business works. Not a one-size-fits-all solution, and that matters. I'd use NetSuite Next, and I think you should too. Whether your company earns millions or even hundreds of millions, it's time for NetSuite Next, where your business meets AI. For the first time ever, you could try NetSuite Next for free. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, go to netsuite.ai/SPI. Built for every industry, ready for every boardroom, netsuite.ai/SPI. You know what I hear more than anything else from aspiring entrepreneurs? I'm still working on my website. And I get it. I really do, because it's not just the website, right? It's the domain, the email, the SEO, the landing pages, figuring out which tools to use and how to make them all work together. It's overwhelming. And that overwhelm is exactly what keeps great ideas stuck in your Notes app instead of out in the world. And here's what I wish I had known when I was just starting out. Hostinger. Hostinger is built for people who've been researching this for months and just need to ship the first version. You bring the idea, and Hostinger's AI builder turns it into a business-ready website in minutes. Domain, business email, and marketing tools all in one place. No more duct taping 5 different tools together and hoping that it works. And here's what I really love. Once your site is live, the work doesn't stop. Getting found on Google, writing landing pages that actually convert, emailing those first subscribers. Hostinger's AI agents help with those jobs, like built-in specialists for SEO, web copy, email marketing, and outreach. 5 million customers worldwide already trust Hostinger. Plans start at just $2.99 a month with a free domain and email included. At that price, your website stops being a big, scary commitment and becomes an experiment worth trying. The fastest way to find out if your idea works is to get it in front of real people. So that idea in the Notes app, it could be live today. Start it with Hostinger at hostinger.com/SPI and use promo code SPI for 10% off. That's hostinger.com/SPI, promo code SPI for 10% off.
Hey, Pat, what would you say is the number one thing people should always be focused on in their business?
Besides headshots, no, I'm just kidding. It's audience growth, I think. Audience growth.
I think so too.
Growing what they've built, right? It's one thing to build a thing. It's another thing to, find the audience to see that thing, to experience that thing, to, in your world, of course, dive into email and join a community, all that stuff. Like, it doesn't happen unless you grow that audience.
I agree. I always look at it like my business is like water. If I let it go stagnant, it's going to stink.
Oh yeah, still water is bad. I've been learning about still water and how just dangerous it can be with the microbes and all that stuff.
Don't drink it.
Don't
drink it, and don't let your audience grow stagnant. Always be looking for new leads. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm really excited.
Right. Let's dive right in. We're back with another episode. I got Liz here with me, and we're going to talk about audience growth. In fact, this was Liz's idea to create this episode, and I think it's going to be extremely helpful. What was the origin of the idea for this episode, Liz?
Audience growth. Y'all, people in my community and in the SPI community have just been saying, Liz, Pat, I've been turning my wheels. Like, nothing is working. I'm posting every day. I'm consistent. I'm doing the things you guys say, but I'm not seeing much traction. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, what are we doing to get eyeballs, right? It's not enough. And I say it with love. I say everything with love if you're still getting to know me. But it's not enough to just post. We've got to go out and actively build our audience. And I know Pat and I do that in very different ways. Yeah. And so I thought, why not just give a quick, hey, this is how I'm doing things. This is how you're doing things. And you can pick and choose what works for you, your personality, your capacity. So let's get into it. I'm going to interview Pat. I'm going to take the mic. Pat, how are you building your audience right now?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to use Deep Pocket Monster as a case study right now because a lot of people are curious about that. They see how big it's growing and it continues to grow and the revenue continues to fly there. And so I'm going to talk about that. The growth is happening from being consistent on social media and specifically creating a video every day. And, we've talked about this before. Not too long ago, we ran the 30-day short form video challenge. I have seen what that has done for people. There's been a number of people in that challenge and even in our community who have participated in that, who said that was a life-changing 30 days for them because they are now seeing results that they haven't seen before. Now, for the people who are like, well, I am creating every day, but I'm not seeing anything. It's funny because yesterday I had a person tell me exactly that. A person who came up to me on social, he's like, Pat, I need your help because I have been doing exactly what you said to do. I've been creating a video every day for the last 60 days and the videos are going nowhere. And I said, okay, let me look at your videos. So I look and it just was so obvious what was happening. And before I tell you exactly what happened, I need to tell you that you need to ask for help when you need that help. And I think because you can't read the label when you are inside the bottle. Let me say that one more time. You can't read the label when you're inside the bottle. When you're doing the thing and you're so involved in it and you're so deep into it, there are some things that are so obvious, but you are blind to simply because you've been doing it every day. And so the thing that I found with this person who was creating a video every day was they were not thinking about the hooks in their videos. Every single video waited 2 or 3 seconds before getting into the whole reason why a person might need to watch that video. And so I said, you need to work on your hooks. For the next 30 days, do videos again, like, yes, another 30 days, but we're going to do it now with just focusing on the first second of the video. Show something visual and ask a question in the beginning that gets a person to stick around. And of course, that was only yesterday, but I guarantee you that they're going to see results that they hadn't seen before. Because the truth is, what is the definition of insanity? It's from Einstein, right? Like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. In order to get different results, you have to change something. Something has to change. So this is where going into the SPI community and saying, hey guys, I need this help. This is what's happening. And just getting some eyeballs from the outside to see and point things out or to try certain things. Or going to a mentor or asking a friend like, hey, what is happening here? Is there something that I'm missing? And in many cases, there's something completely obvious that's just not working that we can change right away. So there's sort of 2 parts to this answer, and I can go deeper if you'd like, Liz, but it is number 1, it is the creating daily. I think that is very important. Quality is important, yes, but more important, especially in the beginning, if you haven't seen results yet, it's actually quantity. It's getting those reps in. But part 2 of this is after a certain period of time, checking to see what's working. And if it's not, fixing something or changing something and then experimenting with it for another period of time until you see something that does work.
Listen, when Pat was just setting this up, he was doing the hook. He was like, before I tell you, I was like, this guy makes so many shorts. And then
it's natural now.
It's natural now, but that's what I think that proves your point of it's quantity at first.
Yeah.
Because you've got to practice. And I think what Pat does so well and what this person is going to, end up doing really well also is practice in public, right? You've got to be willing to post, right? It's
Yes.
not enough to, y'all, you can't see me. I'm in a closet right now. It's not enough to just, pretend to interview Pat Flynn. You've got to do it. We got to hit publish on this thing, right? That's how we get better. So I love that so much. And I think the proof is in the pudding of, Pat just giving us a hook, repeating himself, making, I was like, what is he going to say? Right. And so if you didn't catch that, go back, rewind 3 minutes and listen again. And you can really see or hear what Pat is talking about.
Oh, wow. I appreciate you calling that out because now that I'm thinking about what I said, I'm like, oh yeah, wow, I am pretty good. But that's only because I've practiced, right? It's just like practicing an instrument. If you're a pianist and you're practicing for a recital, you practice the parts, you play, you literally hit the keys on the stuff that's hard, right? If you just played the stuff that's easy, then that's not getting you anywhere. You practice the stuff that's hard so that by the time you come to the recital, you don't even have to think anymore. It's just a part of what you do. This is the same thing that I heard Harry Mack talk about. I don't know if you know Harry Mack, but Harry Mack is a very famous freestyle hip hop artist. And he comes up with these incredible connections and rhymes just off the top of his head or off the dome, as he calls it. And there was a video of him talking about how he does what he does. And he says that he forces himself to mess up. He puts the tempo on his practices a little faster than what he's normally doing so that he can mess up, so that he stumbles. Because if he can master that and eventually get through that, when he's rapping in person, on stage, or on a live stream at a much slower pace, I mean, he's got it down. He doesn't even have to think anymore because he's forcing himself to stumble. And so I know that might sound hard for a lot of us who are like, well, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to embarrass myself. Well, then you're never going to grow. I mean, just honestly, you're never going to grow. So hit publish, get dirty. You got to be a disaster before you become the master. I heard that from John Lee Dumas. But I have a quote that goes alongside that, which is you got to be cringe before they binge, right? You got to be cringe before they binge. And if you're not allowing yourself to be a little cringe, well, you're just going to stay put. That's it.
I am so cringy. Like, I look back at stuff, even stuff I wrote. So I'm an email marketer, so most of my content is written. And I'll look at an email from 3 months ago, and I'm like, I can't believe I called somebody boo 3 times in one email.
Hey, boo.
Like, right. Hey, boo. You got this, boo. You know, I'm proud of you. Like it's cringe. So, but yeah, people read them. People tell me it's great. But one thing that I've noticed about you as a creator, Pat, that I think really helps with the audience building, and you've already mentioned it, is that consistency. And so what is it, whether, you know, you've learned this a long time ago or, you know, it stays top of mind now, like what keeps you consistent? Because it's one thing to say, yeah, I want to be consistent. It's another to actually be consistent. Yeah,
that's a great call out and a great question. That is where a lot of people struggle. They say, I'm going to do this every day. And then eventually 30 days in, they're like, well, I missed a few days. And then a few days becomes a few weeks, becomes a few months. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I got to try that again. And we do the same thing with our diets and everything at the start of a year, you know, when we're going into New Year's resolution time, et cetera. I have turned content into something that's just a part of my day now. It's just built into the routine. It's like I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but it's like brushing my teeth now. It's just like if I don't brush my teeth, I'm going to have stink breath and my wife is not going to want to sleep in the same bed as me. So I got to make sure I brush my teeth, just like how I got to make sure that I create that piece of content. We are now on day 708 straight of a video published every day on Deep Pocket Monster, on the Shorts channel and on Instagram, TikTok, etc. I have to remind people, those first 30 days, I was seeing very little views, but it wasn't because I wasn't good. It's just I hadn't had the time to learn yet. So I needed those reps. And by day 35, finally on day 35, one of those videos went to the moon and everything has just been history since then. But as my buddy Alex says, you got to count uploads, not likes. Count your uploads, not likes. So I'm shooting for the uploads, right? That was the goal of that first initial 60-day challenge, was just to get 60 days straight, regardless of how many views I got or how many likes I got on those videos. And it was because that's what I can control. I can control myself hitting record, hitting publish. I can control myself not over editing these videos as well. I can't control the views all the time. I can't control how people will respond to them, but I can control hitting record, hitting publish. So I might as well focus on that being the goal, not the views. Because when you base your success on something that you cannot control completely, you're living in dangerous territory. You're ultimately probably going to be disappointed. The results are a byproduct of you staying consistent on the things that you can control. So if you've ever had an idea for a landing page and watched it turn into a pile of tickets, handoffs, and we'll get to it eventually, you know exactly how much momentum that kills. Your website should be working for your business, not slowing it down. And that's exactly why I want to tell you about Framer. Framer is the pro site builder for creators, teams, and businesses that want a professional site and care enough to get every detail right. Thousands of businesses, from early stage startups to Fortune 500s, are choosing Framer. Why? Because changes take minutes instead of days. Here's what is really exciting right now. AI agents are built directly into the canvas, the same place where your real site is designed, managed, and published. Agents help your team design pages, manage CMS content, write copy, optimize SEO, and ship everything in one place. No switching tools, no rebuilding work elsewhere. And here's the balance I love. Agents bring the speed and scale. Your team brings the taste, judgment, and control. You prompt, inspect, edit, and publish at a whole new pace. Companies like Perplexity and Miro trust Framer with their .com. And with enterprise-grade security and 99.99% uptime, it's easy to see why. Learn how you can get more out of your site from a Framer specialist or get started building for free today at framer.com/SPI for 30% off a Framer Pro annual plan. That's framer.com/SPI for 30% off. Framer.com/SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. So let me ask you something. What's something that's sitting on your to-do list right now that you know you shouldn't be doing yourself? Because one of the biggest growth hacks I've discovered over the years is this. You don't have to do it all yourself. The moment you start bringing in the right expertise at the right time, that's when everything starts to move faster. But hiring help shouldn't be a headache or a drain on your budget either. And that's exactly where Upwork comes in. Upwork is a one-stop platform to find, hire, and pay expert freelancers across web and software development, data and analytics, marketing, business operations, and more. Fast access to specialized talent across 125 plus categories, so you can fill skill gaps and launch projects faster without committing to full-time headcount. Here's what makes it really easy. You can browse profiles, review past work, and get help scoping the role so you can hire with confidence and get started quickly. And with Upwork Business Plus, AI-powered shortlisting matches you to the top 1% of talent on Upwork in under 6 hours. No endless searching required. Contracts, payments, everything handled in one place, less operational hassle, and more time for you to run your business. Thousands of growing businesses already trust Upwork for everything from one-off projects to ongoing support. And it's free to sign up, and posting a job is easy. So visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. I love that we're talking about this, and there's many different ways to grow an audience, and we're talking about audience growth, but a lot of this is mindset. A lot of this is just workflow and getting better. And when I first started this shorts video thing, the Should I Open It or Should I Keep It Sealed series, I mean, it took me an hour, 45 minutes to create one of those videos. Now I can bang one out in 13 minutes. I've timed myself because I know I have the shortcuts, I have the template, I have the workflows, all of it. And I'm still trying to get faster every day with little shortcuts that I'm learning just so that I can get through an entire week's worth now in just a couple hours. But that wasn't possible at first, but it was only possible because I kept showing up. So that is a great lesson. That is not a strategy or tactic on a platform. It's a strategy for you as a producer, as a creator. And I love that we started there.
Yes, Pat, you said it best, a producer, right? And it is, and as much as nobody likes to hear this, sometimes it is mindset. Right? It's if that person we mentioned earlier, hey, I've been at this for 60 days. What the heck? I think if he had anchored himself in a little different way, he might have been able to analyze why his videos weren't working. Maybe the why behind what he was doing was just, I started a challenge with Pat Flynn. I'm doing it. I'm going to get more views, right? I'm going to be like Pat Flynn. And I say it with love. The why has to be stronger than I want to be like Pat Flynn. I want to be like Liz Wilcox. It has to be something that you are rooted in. Pat even made a joke about, I brush my teeth because I want my wife to be around me. That's very rooted. And so around here, we're trying something new. We're team win. What's important now? And so I invite you, I know you're probably driving, listening to this. Maybe you're doing the dishes, you're in carpool, but later tonight, get out your journal and write out, why is audience building important to you? Why is posting content or writing emails or trying to make a living online? Why are you listening to this podcast right now? Why did you press play? Why do you press play over and over again, right? That's so important because when you're rooted in your why, you're able to sort of, number one, get excited. Okay, I know my why. This is why I'm doing it. And so I'm going to go out and do it. And I think that in itself really lends itself to consistency. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, amen. Amen to that. The why for brushing teeth is I don't have fun doing that, but I also don't have fun sleeping on the couch, right?
Right.
But then, in the Pokemon side of things, I'm also trying to find the fun there. The last thing I'll say before I take the mic from you and give you back the same question, Liz, for audience growth is if I'm having fun creating, then the audience is going to have more fun consuming. And I think that is a very important lesson because a lot of times we lose that. And I think going back to the why can rekindle that fire for a lot of us. And this might be a great opportunity if you are in a car driving right now or listening on a subway or whatever the case may be, maybe pause for a sec before we get into Liz's answer and just ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's the whole point? Because we remember that in the beginning, but then we forget. We forget when it gets hard. But I think that is exactly what gets you through those hard moments. So I appreciate you saying that, Liz. That's very important. I'm going to take the mic from you now, and I'm going to flip the question back to you, Liz. What are you doing today in your world that is working really well for audience growth?
Well, same as Pat, have fun. And my word of the year is play. And so I've just been really, because the last couple of years, everybody knows, it's such a grind. Everything's so hard.
Yeah.
AI is, taking everything I knew and flipping it on its head. And I just went into January 1st thinking, no, I'm done. I cannot have that mindset anymore. I want to be successful. I have a very deeply rooted why I not only want to be successful, but I feel this need to be successful. I have a lot of mouths to feed. And so it was, well, how can I continue on then? How can I flip this? And how can I grow my audience? Because I know business is like water, okay? Sometimes it gets stagnant. And how do you make stagnant water fresh? You get fresh leads in, you get new eyeballs. You constantly have to be growing. And, I hate to say that. I wish I could just find my 1,000 true super fans and they would stay with me forever, but some drop off. I need to find new, right? And so I always look at my audience building as water and how can I get fresh? And this year it was have fun. That is what is going to make me show up, make me be consistent in the content I'm creating. And also it's going to attract those right people. So very tangibly, some of the things I've been doing are swaps. We've mentioned this in previous episodes. Hey, Pat, can I share your freebie and you share mine? And we swap email lists. I have done so many of those this year and I just added it up and I've gotten over 4,000 new leads to my email list because that's my number one group that I'm trying to grow, my number one audience I'm trying to grow, just from other people sharing my things and me sharing theirs. I've also been doing, and we've done on the SPI side, challenges. And I think what works about a challenge, because you might think, okay, well, I posted a challenge, nobody came. You've got to get people excited about it. Give people incentive to share the challenge. Hey, I'm doing this 30-day short form challenge. I know you mentioned you wanted to do it too. Let's do it together. And that's something in a previous episode, I think about 4 episodes ago, Roger Coles was a guest and he said he joined Pat's challenge because his buddy joined Pat's challenge, right?
That's right.
So getting people excited about it and even saying hey, share this with your friends, share this with your friends has been a great, great way. And y'all, I've said this in a previous episode as well. I'm very much down with OPP, other people's platforms. So hello, I am on the SPI podcast right now, co-hosting it, right? That is very much helping me not only establish authority and credibility, but actual numbers. People finding me and saying, hey, I heard you on SPI. I came over here to check this out, right? And I've been doing that for years. At this point, I believe, I don't know the exact number, but I believe I've been on over 400 podcasts. So the same way Pat is just posting on YouTube over and over, anytime I can get in front of somebody who has a YouTube channel, has a podcast, things like that, because I don't have a system for that. Pat's got his rhythm and his rhyme and he's got his people. I'm basically a one-man show. And so I said, okay, how can I get people like Pat to promote me? And so that's been a great way, and not just podcasts, but virtual summits, right? We're hosting one soon on audience building and list building and, getting other people to come on and speak and me going on others. That has been amazing. I've hosted my own. We're trying it out in SPI. And the last 3 that I've done have built the list, I think something like 5,000 or 6,000 people in 18 months, just hosting my own event and saying, hey, Pat, you're a speaker. Can you share it? Hey, Shahara, you're a speaker. Can you share it? Things like that. So collaborations has been a really, really great way I've grown my audience in the last 6 to 12 months, really forever now.
Yeah, collaborations, partnerships. I think we talked about that in a recent Ask Pat, or it was the Ask Pat podcast that you hosted with me. And I love that you tacked on still within that, the consistency. I mean, 400 episodes, Liz, is something that requires a lot of effort and time and patience to do. but you've seen the results of that and you continue to do that. And that's why, a lot of people have asked you recently, like, Liz, why are you showing up so much in Pat's stuff now? And, you're community director, obviously, but like, you don't have to do that, right? You have your own community and you're like, well, I'm in front of Pat's audience. I get to deliver value and we have this partnership. And it's like, oh, well, duh, right? Because you're doing exactly what you're talking about right now. And I'm curious, Liz, if you could have a dream collaboration with anybody, who would that be with?
Kit.
Ooh.
KIT. I would love, and this is not even a collaboration with, like another creator, right? Like I think if you guys can't tell, this is my dream come true, right? I hired a podcast broker back in the day and they said, who's your dream podcast? I said, Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. I made that happen. I think it was something like, I think it took me 3 years or something like that I call it networking across. You don't want to network up, you network across, right? So if somebody's slightly higher, and eventually, you make it up the ladder. But nowadays, I'm looking at partnerships more with brands, right? And that's something, Pat can speak on. But if you think Pat Flynn is big, what about Kit? I imagine their email list is even bigger, right?
Oh, huge. And the people they know, right? Their network is huge. Like the people you connect with have their web of network that then you now have access to. And there's a delicate way to do that, right? We've talked about brand partnerships and how to kind of get into that before. And we have a course inside of the SPI community on that as well. But yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to point that out because that's like, it's not just like, here's the company I'm partnering with. It's like, they also have connections and people that you can get in front of or provide value to and get something back in return over time.
Right. That's what I love about partnerships. And, I joke OPP, but there's different touch points. You never know who's going to know someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Pat and I got together because my sister knows his assistant. And so that just automatically made us closer than we would have without that connection. And
yeah.
You just never know. But yeah, with Kit, and I've been dreaming about this for a long time, I would love for a Kit user to be able to log in and use the emails that I wrote to send out emails to their list. Like I've been writing emails for years and years. I have had, tens of thousands of students use my templates. Who knows how many people have read my words? I have somebody who has an email list with 500,000 people that uses my templates. Like, wouldn't that be amazing to just be able to log into Kit or some ESP and just have emails that are proven in so many different industries? And, they have like email templates that are format templates, right? Like they've got the header and the footer and this and that. But what about the content? Like that would be my dream collaboration for sure.
Sure, we can figure out a way to make that happen. It might even be possible in some workaround, but they haven't really talked. Well, the one thing about Kit, and I've told them this personally before, I'm an advisor to Kit, is that every time they come out with something new, they often just like move on to the next thing. And I'm like, talk about the things that you could do with Kit because you could do so much with it. So maybe we can explore that even further after we get finished with this podcast, which we're at the end at because we wanted to keep this short and sweet for you. Just give you a couple things to think about as you move into the second half of the year here. I can't believe we're already in the second half of 2026.
Wow.
But a lot of these things that we talked about today are not based on just like the time we're in now. These are timeless things. In fact, things that have always worked and maybe we've forgotten. So I'm glad that we're talking about them again. And I'm just super grateful for our partnership, Liz, and for you to come on the show and be my co-host now for a lot of this stuff, which adds so much value and another perspective that I absolutely love. It makes producing these a lot easier for sure, but also just makes it a lot more fun. And like you said, we're going to find the fun and keep making it happen.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And if you want to know more about audience building, we're actually doing a List Building Live virtual summit that's going to be available for you to download right on the podcast player you're listening to right now. That's going to be August 18th through the 20th. And I think it'll be about 6 or 7 little short 5 to 10 minute episodes for you to download each day over the series of 3 days so you can really build your audience because that is so, so important. That's the first step to building super fans. So I can't wait for that.
Awesome. Definitely go. Sign up for that. All the links and stuff are going to be at the show notes. And Liz, thank you again. We'll see everybody on the next one.
Thank you. Yep.
Hey, before you head out, Liz and I want to tell you about something we are both really excited about.
Okay, so you just listened to an entire episode about building your business, and now you're probably thinking, okay, but where do I actually start? Am I right?
Yeah, that's exactly the problem that the Superfan system solves. It's a complete framework built right into the SPI community, and it takes you through every level of building a loyal audience, from getting clear on who you're serving all the way to creating genuine superfans who show up for everything that you can do.
And I can tell you from personal experience, this stuff works. I built my entire business on real relationships and real connections. No ads, no gimmicks, just showing up for my people at every level. That's what the Superfan system teaches you to do.
It meets you exactly where you are, whether you're just starting out or you've been building a business for years and you feel like something's missing. Well, there's a level for you in here and a clear path forward.
Courses, community, live support, all of Pat's courses over the years, it's all inside. Honestly, though, for me, the community alone is worth it because these are my people and these are your people too.
Yeah, so come on in. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start building something real,
head to superfans.smartpassiveincome.com.
we're both super excited to see you inside.